Every single day, there's a fight for your money. And this starts from the moment that you wake up. Social media wants your attention. Advertisers, they want your money. Your kids, they want something. They have their own needs. And, your spouse, they might want a bigger house or a newer car, or they may want to go on more vacations. And then you also have the government who is saying that you owe them money for taxes. So every day, somebody is fighting to get money from you. And the scary part is that most people lose this fight without even realizing it. And then they look up and wonder, why they never built any wealth for themselves. It's because somebody's taking your money from you. And this fight never stops. In this video, what we want to talk about is the different fights that you have daily for your money and how you can win some of these fights. So let's get into it. One thing that I've realized as I've gotten older is that everybody has a plan for what you should do with your money. Companies spend billions of dollars year after year to figure out things, psychology, to make you buy stuff, just to figure out what makes you tick, to get you to act on that impulse to go and spend your money on stuff. And if they can't convince you to spend your money on stuff, then they want to scare you to death to go and spend your money in different ways to get protection from them, basically. So they're going to sell you insurance. They're going to sell you advice. And then they're going to tell you where's a safe place to park your money. But they're still going to charge you for this stuff and have you spend money. And that is how modern life is designed. It's designed to take money out of your pocket and put money in somebody else's pocket. And you might think that, man, I went out and spent a bunch of money today on some stuff that I shouldn't have done. And that's bad on you for sure. But it's not because you were just, weak-minded and you just, couldn't control yourself. No, it's because you were targeted. These companies are targeting you and signaling these signals to you to go out and spend this money. But you have to be smarter and you have to be willing to put up a fight so that they're not taking your money from you. So the next thing we want to talk about is social media. Social media has changed money habits forever. Years ago, you just compared yourself to your neighbors, your coworkers, or even like some family members if they were doing better than your family, right? You compared yourself to them to see how you were doing. And if you watch these people long enough, you're going to become dissatisfied with your life. Your life of being normal is just not going to be enough for you. And especially on social media, right? You are watching people live their best life. You are watching the highlight reel of everyone's life. And that is one of the fastest ways for you to go broke financially, trying to compare yourself and keep up with other people who basically they don't pay your bills. They don't do anything for you. But here you are trying to keep up with their lifestyle. And it actually doesn't make a lot of sense. But social media has done that. It has changed, the money habits that people have. And there's a big difference between, looking rich and actually being rich. And on social media, you have a bunch of people who are looking rich, but they're probably drowning in debt. So you don't want to be like them. If you have kids, you already know this, right? They want the new shoes. They want the new games. They have some new activity or some club that they want to be in or some team that they want to be on where you have to pay monthly fees. It's always something. They want fast food. They want a new video game system. They want a new phone. I mean, it's just all sorts of crazy stuff. And because we grew up, a lot of us at least, we grew up, without. So the idea of, our kids, kind of going through that same experience that we did, we feel kind of bad. And not to mention the companies out here today, man, they are specialists in targeting, teenagers and young kids through social media, through commercials on TV and so forth. So they are getting this messaging in their head. But if you are not careful, you're going to be setting them up for failure because one day they are going to be fighting for their money too. And the biggest gift, the greatest gift that you could give your kids is, man, financial education, financial literacy, and teaching them how to fight for their money because right now they don't know. All they see is your wallet, your purse, and they think that, hey, if I ask mom or dad, I can get it. And if mom and dad keeps buying it for me, then they think that's just the way it is. You have to teach your kids financial discipline because like I said earlier, they are going to have to get in that ring one day and they're going to have to fight for their money because they're going to have those very same people that you fight with, trying to fight them and take their money. One of the biggest bullies on the block when it comes to fighting for money is the government. And that could be the federal government, the local government, it could be the state government, and they all are fighting for your money. A lot of times when people think about, money, they just, and spending money rather, they think about, like you're going to buy stuff, shopping and so forth, and, just overspending on items. And that is where, you lose your money. But that's not really the case. You lose your money more from taxes. And these taxes, they happen before you even get the money yourself. So you already have people taking money out of your paycheck before you even get it. And then afterwards, you still have taxes. Like you have sales tax, you have property tax, you have all sorts of taxes that you have to pay. Even sometimes, man, you pay taxes all year long and then you do your income taxes for the year and you find out that the government wants to take even more money from you. And because your money has multiple directions pulling at it, if you're not intentional, you could look up and your money is gone and you're sitting there wondering where it went. And this is exactly why budgeting is necessary. Now, I understand budgeting is not fun, it's not exciting, and it's definitely not sexy, but it is absolutely necessary. Think about your budget as a plan for your money, because if you don't have a plan, then your money is going to disappear without you knowing where it went. And here's the reality. For every dollar that you spend, that is $1 that you cannot save. That's $1 that you can't invest. That's $1 that you can't use for later, because you only have so much money. Now, this doesn't mean that you should never enjoy anything in your life. No, I'm not saying that. Don't go and just, be miserable and suffer throughout, your entire life because, you're afraid to spend a dime. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you have to be intentional and you have to understand where every dollar is going. You have to understand, where people are hiding out, ready to jump you and take your money from you. Because if you spend your money, just like frivolously and you just, spending money here, spending money there, you're going to wake up eventually. And you're going to realize like, damn, I don't have anything saved for retirement. I don't have anything saved for an emergency fund. And you're just going to expose yourself to so many risks. And I don't want that to happen to you. The fight for your money happens every day. And the only way that you're going to win some of these fights is that if you're aware. You have to be aware where the punches are coming from. You got to be able to dodge the punches, right? Because trust me, there will be punches thrown. There will be attempts to take money from you. And you just have to be aware of these things. At the end of the day, everybody wants a piece of your money. And it's just going to be up to you to fight off the advertisers. It's going to be up to you to fight off social media. You're going to have to fight off your kids. And, sometimes you're going to have to fight off your friends, and there'll be some people who are going to have to fight off their spouse, right? Because they may want to spend more money than, you have available to spend. And I know that it seems like a big, bold task, but you're going to have to find a way to fight off the government as well. You're going to have to get with a very good CPA and, start figuring out ways that you can save on taxes. You're going to have to start investing in things that, have tax advantages. I mean, that's the only way that you're going to be able to fight the United States government. So you better be ready for that, because you don't want to wake up at the end of your journey and all of your money is gone. Now, that is all I have for you in this video. If you took something of value, please like, share with your friends, your family. And in the meantime, take care of yourself and be safe out here in these social media streets.